Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying their lovely Labor Day. My name is Alex Borak with Inbox 25, Marketing Automation Made Easy. So today's webinar is being recorded live and will be up on our knowledge base and YouTube channel shortly after the conclusion of the webinar. If you have any questions at any point during the webinar, simply pop it into the chat bubble on your GoToWebinar window, and I will try to answer them in the order they were received following the demonstration. If for any reason I cannot answer all of the questions, I will put them into a follow-up email and send them out to all attendees as soon as I can. So, with that being said, let's get right into today's webinar, sending personalized emails on behalf of your sales team. So, today I'm going to explain how to set up a campaign to send out an email on behalf of all assigned record owners. I'm also going to segue a little bit into best practices for personalization tags in general. So, commonly, in order for a company to send an email blast out to their customers on behalf of their sales agents, they want to gather with their team and brainstorm a uniform message to send out. Then the team members would split up, creating the email and sending it to their clientele. With the new Sugar CRM Assigned To tag at Inbox 25, we brought the best of both worlds together. You can now create the feeling of personalized emails without the hassles of manual input. The Sugar CRM Assigned To tag allows you to automatically personalize the sending headers of their email, the from name, the from email addresses, and reply to, with the assigned owner of a Sugar CRM record. This function can streamline a marketing manager or sales manager's efforts by only having to create a single outbound email for all of their sales agents. Instead of creating an outbound campaign that is customized for each and every sales agent. This cuts down the prep time for creating and sending out the message drastically. So, how do personalization tags work? Well, when using a personalization tag, you are asking the system to pull information from a field inside Sugar CRM to use for your email. In our example, the Sugar Assigned To tag is pulling from the Assigned To field inside Sugar CRM. So when it's time to send out your email, the system replaces the tag with the information it has pulled from that field. Neat, right? Okay, so before we get into the demonstration portion, there's a best practice scenario I'd like to share. So, say that you would like to include in the body of your email a personalization tag of, say, first name. But for some of your records, there's nothing in the first name field. What do? Well, you can accept that there's nothing there, and there will never be anything there. And thus, in the body of the email, the tag will revert to blank space. Or, you could try this neat little trick I recently learned and would like to share with you. So, under automation, if you may or may not know, you can use our update field action to update data fields in Sugar CRM. So, if the field is blank, how do you set up a workflow to update that info? I'll demonstrate this after setting up the initial email during the demonstration. Now, to piggyback on that scenario, another best practice would be to indeed use personalization tags in the body of the email. This will make the email more personal to the recipient on behalf of you and will increase the chance of opportunities. So let's get right into the demonstration. So before the demonstration, I set up a quick draft that I like to go to show you some personalization tags that we can use. All right. So before we look into the body of the email, let's check the settings. So I can show you how the Sugar CRM Assign To personalization tag would work. So as you can see, we've entered the campaign name and the subject line, as well as a from name. But for the from email address is the Sugar Assigned To agent. With that neat little tag, now this email that's going to be blasted out to all our records is going to look like it's going to come from either James Verdi, Ryan Brown, Alex Borak, or Angelo Coves. You can also use the Sugar CRM reports to if you would like it to go from the marketing manager or sales manager. And then the reply to address will also be the Sugar CRM Assigned To. So as recipients are sending correspondence back to you, it's going to be dropped right into the sales agent's inbox. So let's skip on over to the HTML I was working on. So before the webinar, I created a short little email and used as many personalization tags as I could think of to make it look really personal to the person I'm sending this email out to. So let's go to Edit. So what I did is instead of entering these personalization tags manually, I went through the personalization drop-down box. Now what this shows is any and all fields inside Sugar CRM within the Leads module that I've synced over into Inbox 25. To do that, all you would simply do is navigate to the top right-hand corner to the Sugar Cube, go to your SimSync, then you'll select your appropriate module, Manual Sync, and click the fields that you would like synced over. I'll demonstrate that in a few minutes. But first, let's just review this. So for this Labor Day, I will be sending an Omaha steak to the primary address, city, state, and zip code. I'll be reaching out to this person via their mobile on September 6th. And additionally, I'd like them to check back on their birthday to see the gift that they got. Also, we have personalization tags for the social sharing, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. By simply using these tags into your email, when propagated, they will show those little lovely social sharing buttons we all know and love. So let's save that. And let's just take a look at the right-hand side real quick. So there's also some other personalization tags that you're allowed to use. We give you a default unsubscribe tag that when the email is sent out will turn into a link. Also, in your general settings, you can configure your physical address. And under the optional campaign goodies in step 1 of the email setup process, your physical address will show. So when sending out the email, your physical address will propagate right here. So I will show you exactly how the personalization tag works in a little bit, but first let's show you how you can test it. So when testing out an email with our email testing suite using personalization tags, we give you the option to pick a random record from your CRM that would then replace all the info with your personalization tags with the info inside their record profile. So in a test email, you can see exactly what will show to them. I sent an email proof to myself, and in a few minutes I will show you exactly how it came out. But first, let's look at how to actually manually sync fields into Inbox 25. So we'll navigate to the Sugar Cube. Perfect. So as you can see, I have my module synced over, but hey, there's a field that might be missing, and I'd like to sync it over. And it's in the Leads module. So let's click on Manual Sync. And now a list is showing up of all the fields within Sugar CRM Leads module. and I've missed the description field. So let me click that. And I like to also take out the other address, city, street, and state. So let's click that, and let's sync it over. Click Save. Perfect. Now the leads module is updating. Once the update is finished, those fields will now be synced into Inbox 25, and information within those fields will be able to pull from in automation or email campaigns. So, before we go into another best practice, I'd like to quickly navigate away from Inbox 25 temporarily, just to show you the record profile that I used for the test email, Angelo Cobes. So, as you can see here, we have the primary address, the city, the state, the zip code, the street, and the country. We also have their birthday, and we also have their first and last name. If you can recall, those are the personalization tags that I used inside the email. So let's see how it came out. And there you go. That would be the finished product if I sent that out to Angelo Cobes. You can see the social sharing buttons that popped up, and also the personalization tags, first and last name, the street, the city, the state and zip code, as well as the mobile phone. I'm sorry, that was a misspeak, as well as the birthday. There you go. Perfect, right? So let's navigate back to Inbox 25 to show a best practice. Now, during the presentation, I mentioned that if there is a field in Sugar CRM that is empty, but you'd like to use it for a personalized email, what would you do? Well, it's really simple. First, we'll go to Automation and go to Add Automated Campaign. So, just like any other automated campaign, there's a few steps you have to go through. The first being naming it and selecting your list. I'm going to select the Leads module, and I'm going to name this Update Name Field to Loyal Customer. And we'll make this a smart campaign. Quick note, the three matching settings, Current Condition, Smart Campaign, and Progressive, each have their own benefits. Current condition means that whatever condition block the record is in a workflow, the system only cares about that condition block. As soon as the record meets the criteria, they will be moved through the workflow. Progressive is a little different. Whatever condition block the record is in, the system cares about that condition block, as well as any other previous condition blocks the record has passed through. The record must meet the criteria for all of those in order to continue moving through the workflow. A smart campaign, which will be today's demonstration campaign, is the initial condition block criteria must always be met in order for a record to stay inside of a smart campaign workflow. As soon as the criteria for that initial condition block is no longer met, the record will be taken out. So let's go ahead and click Continue. So to go along the example, we'll use the data field condition. And we'll say name field left blank. And we'll select our data field. And we'll use the operator is null. And we'll go ahead and add condition. Now, we'll set up an action. But first, we're going to configure our wait connector. I'm just going to make this a quick 1 minute. And as a best practice, if you are setting up workflows to do this neat little trick I learned to update fields that are empty, you would probably want to configure a pretty early wait connector. And now we'll use the update field action. And we'll name this enter loyal customer. And we'll update it to loyal customer. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and end the campaign. So, just to reiterate, if anyone from our leads module has an empty name field, we're going to wait a minute, and then loyal customer is going to be input directly into the name field. So now, when I want to go to send out an email campaign, and I want to use the name field, at least it will say something instead of dear blank space. Now it will say dear loyal customer. So that pretty much wraps up personalization tags within Box 25. I have a few frequently asked questions that I've put together myself. If you have any questions following, be sure to enter them in. I'll answer them, and then we can all enjoy a wonderful Labor Day. So, the first question is, Alex, what personalization tags work inside the subject line? That is a great question. What I will do is, in an email following the presentation, I will send out to you a list of personalization tags that work within the subject line. That way, there's no confusion as to what fields work and what fields do not work. The second question is, Alex, what if there's no information entered into a personalization tag? What will happen? Well, as previously discussed, if there is no information entered into a field in Sugar and you'd like to use the personalization tag, then you're going to have to put something in there for it to trigger and for something to show up in the email to the recipient. Alex, my personalization tags aren't showing up in the editor. Where are they? Well, as I showed before, if you go to SimSync and just verify with the correct module you're using that that field is synced over within Box 25, as soon as that's done so, you will then be able to enter that within the drop-down box into the body of your emails. So, it doesn't look like there are any other questions. I hope you all have a very lovely Labor Day. Look forward to our other webinars coming out on Wednesday and Friday, as well as for the next week. Stay tuned to view this webinar up on our knowledge base as well as YouTube. Once again, my name is Alex Borak with Inbox 25, Marketing Automation Made Easy. You all have a lovely day. Thank you, and goodbye.